everyone. Welcome to The Unfinished Business, powered by Rice Bowl, where we talk about real stories behind startups, not the polished press releases. Today, we are plugging into something big, literally electric. We're talking about EVs, electric vehicles, and one of the companies that's been in the race for a long time before the rest of the world even knew what was happening. We're speaking to Eclimo, one of FICA's investee companies and a homegrown pioneer in building electric vehicles. Joining me today is Dato' Dennis, CEO of Eclimo and also president of the Electric Vehicle Association of Malaysia, who just flew back from India after signing an MOU as part of EVAM's cross-border cooperation efforts. But today is not just about headlines or handshakes, it's about the hard questions. Can Malaysian-made EVs really compete with China? Are we building an industry or just assembling someone else's dream? Dato' Dennis, welcome to The Unfinished Business. What are your thoughts about the questions that I have burning in me? You just came back from India. Can you tell us what is happening in India and how is Malaysia competing, against the world?
Yep. Thank you, Rina, for inviting me to this podcast. This is definitely a great opportunity where we can actually open up a bigger market reach. First of all, why I started Eclimo. Eclimo, in fact, stands for Eco-Life Mobility. And when I started Eclimo, I wanted to build electric two-wheelers. During my early entrepreneurs days where I started making battery in year 2003, where during that time I developed batteries for drones, followed by military radio communication, and for network equipments.
That's really industrial grade batteries, isn't it?
Yeah, so all this while I'm actually developing battery for high voltage, high current devices. And why I want to venture into two-wheelers is because I personally, during school days from Penang, we are using motorbikes. And we know that motorbikes, you have a lot of maintenance that need to manage, especially on the lubricant oil. You need to service the engine. And also you have wear and tear item like the belt, spark plug. So, and of course, not to forget, we have petrol to move the vehicle. So not so much about right now when they talk about the climate change, but during that time, it's really a cost to manage to use motorbike.
It's out of the need, right?
Yes, yeah, of course.
I can understand because I'm from Penang and I also have a motorbike license. So during school days, sometimes if parts actually wear off, you have to really find money to replace it.
Yeah. So then give me the idea of with the battery technology, whereby battery is about storage, and how good you're able to draw the current out from the storage. And when you want to design electric two-wheelers, my aim is to reduce all the wear and tear item, which is like the gearbox, there's no engine, you don't need to use petrol to run the vehicle. But when it comes to two-wheelers, we are talking about people already used to riding easily 100 kilometers per hour. So you need to design an equivalent vehicle which can run with that speed. And if you're talking about running with that speed, you are drawing high current. When you draw high current, you have heat dissipation issue. And also you need to be mindful that the charging time have to be short. So that's to my surprise, I thought for me it's quite easy. But it took me almost 5 years to complete the R&D. So, it kept me moving because I want to achieve that. So one of the areas is that I keep pushing myself that I want to achieve even a better comparing with the combustion. But it's really a tough journey going forward. Yeah.
I remember that because I guess, as FICAs, were their investors, we did ask that question, the hard questions of, yes, we support founders that build, what they call, a new product or a new service. But with the other countries, especially China, hitting so hard, right? How are we, able to compete? Because as Malaysian, I think one of the things that we are not known for is deep technologies, right? So I think the branding itself is a challenge. But you mentioned that you are building a bike that is really not competing with the China bike. If I'm, I get you right. It is to compete with the current combustion bikes, which means they can run as fast as the Honda Yamaha, not the electric bike that runs, I think 40 km per hour.
Okay, I would
Is
like
that
to
true?
touch. Yeah, I would like to touch on this. I think this give me the opportunity whereby when I learn about China been producing a lot of items for our daily use, especially electrical appliances. But this is what I learned that from China based on policy itself. Policy itself for two-wheelers that run in China, you are not allowed to run 45 kilometer per hour and above. This is different, totally different than the Malaysia rider scenario. So you can't just purchase the vehicle and distribute here in Malaysia or in an ASEAN country. So that's where I see that there's an opportunity whereby you can find such products to bring in from China. That give me the courage to develop ourselves. And remember that based on the technology, you're not only talking about the battery storage, you're talking about the motor. You say we need a motor that able to run at high speed, at high torque, and yet is drawing lesser current from the battery. When you draw lesser current from the battery, you can have the range. So this is not only on the battery technology, I'm dealing with the powertrain technology and also the connector and charging as well. So then whether we have the volume or not. That is why I want to establish the market. And right now we got the opportunity that we're able to look into where I just came back from India, where we have quite a very, very good connection and network to be able to develop together and look into much better quality two-wheelers. So I would say that this definitely gives us opportunity. But bear in mind that in Malaysia, in two-wheelers market is still a huge market. We have almost 13 million motorbikes running on the road, but the electric is still far from competing with the combustion bike. So now, definitely we need to build up not only on the technology part, on whether how we can able to go to the market and how we can able to not only producing a very good product, but how we can able to convince the user from using combustions and converting to electric. Because electric, we are still talking about most of the people who are actually using motorbikes, they are staying in high-rise building. You still have a charging infrastructure to take care of. So there's still a lot more things that we need to one by one to overcome. But first of all, we have done it. We have completed the product. And now how to go to market, that is definitely we need the network. And thanks to Ficus, Ficus have invested into Eclimo with the, I would say, confidence. And this give me more confidence to be able to put myself more efforts to bring it to the market.
I think, I guess product or a brand like Eclimo is definitely, is not a standalone product. It is, you need an infrastructure or an ecosystem, because I'm sure when you're building it, some people might thought you're crazy to build a bike, and some even said, if you can build a bike, why not a car? I think perhaps some people have compared you to Elon Musk. But I remember asking you this, in Malaysia, of course, petrol is subsidized. And I think now, my NRIC has got like perks also, right? Has anyone asked you like, electric bike, where do I charge? Bro, is there enough charging points or not? In Eclimo bike, I understand, of course, it's not the battery swapping, which is, I think the world is talking about. So For someone who wants to buy an electric bike, I'm going to ask you two questions. There are a lot of gimmicks on electric bikes, a promise of long distance, the speed as fast as combustion bike. But what should they be looking at, the fine prints, if I want to choose to buy an electric bike? And what about the charging?
Well, we definitely not easy to be able to convince those already using motorbike, because for us, when we develop the bike, when we get JPJ approval, it's also need to be able to sell the products. And selling the products, there's already bikes that's already in the market, and they are very well established. So how we able to penetrate in when we obtained JPG approval is 2012, and we got our first customer in 2013. During that time, where is KFC wanted to start their business on delivery. And we managed to convince them to use electric. Why? Because the downtime is lesser. They can actually come back to their premises to charge the bike by just using a tripping plug. So when they do delivery between the radius, say about 5 to 10 kilometer, each time when they go out delivery, they can come back and charge the bike. So in between, if you can top up the charging, you can actually able to run easily 200 kilometer a day with that top up charge. So we're actually targeting those customers that have advantages to use electric rather than somebody that using the bike running 100 to 200 kilometer a day. So we have a very, very good start. And with that, it's also give us the experience of whether the products that we develop is suitable for the user. And from there, we started in 2008, and we complete R&D and JPG approval in 2012. We got our first customer in 2013. So until today, 2025, we have multiple customer, and from there until today, we are still serving the B2B. We have not really pushed out B2C. Because B2C, you're talking about a big manufacturing plant, big investment. And right now, we are still focusing on B2B, whereby you can use it for delivery, you can use it for patrolling. Yeah, so this is where we are right now. I'm pretty happy that we have a very, very good start from 2013.
I think 2013, I'm still in university, high school. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I think from the corporate customers, the B2B segment, I think ultimately the aim is to hopefully everyone, every family can use electric, especially the push for net zero, right? But I think the motivation to change for an individual rider, especially like now with e-hailing coming up, right? I think everybody, and out of 10 people, maybe one would be doing e-hailing, either pastime or extra income. Are these your target customers? I'm sure we have thousands, if not many thousands of e-hailing. And for government to push towards net zero, transportation is really one of the major contributor to CO2. So in your experience, have you seen the patterns of how Grab driver actually rides? Do they ride, 50 km a day? Do they ride hundreds of km a day? Because what I knew is for every 100 km that someone rides, a bike, for example, you emit about 7 kg of CO2. So times tens of thousands, times all the e-hailing. So how much CO2 are we talking about? Do you think these would be the push factors for people like, the e-hailing companies to change?
Well, I definitely there is a so-called sustainability, climate change. It's definitely very, very, very helpful. Well, I think that one I'll leave it to the big corporations or governments to look into it. Bear in mind that I aware that by using electric two-wheelers, if you run 100 kilometers, you're actually avoiding 7 kilo of CO2. I think that one is proven. right? But
Instead of planting trees.
well, it's immediately. This is totally different than a planting tree. This is like immediately for a person to use a combustion bike and convert to electric. Immediately you can see that you are already avoiding CO2 emissions. Yeah, but I think that the right now the question is, you see, just now you're actually talking about charging. Where to charge?
Yes.
The good thing is that when we continue to grow our business, we managed to also work with, especially in Penang, the local council,
Okay.
where they have put up charging station in most of the public places, especially on food court area. You can actually find a charging point for two-wheelers. Not only for Eclimo, but all the two-wheelers can allowed to charge. So this is one a good example that not only Eclimo are pushing it, but we have so-called third party or local council to support the use of electric two-wheelers. And come to Penang, if you use electric, you will definitely be beneficial to Penang guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I think Penang
yeah,
has wanted to be declared as a green
cleaner and greener
green
Penang.
state. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, but coming back to for me, I'm one of the area that maybe you can say that is I shouldn't be so aggressive, because now we are talking about you have achieved 100 kilometer per hour. Whether you want to achieve it higher or not, you already achieved one charge to 100 kilometer range, and right now whether should I go for 200 kilometer per charge?
Is there a need for 200 kilometer?
Well,
The delivery
definitely,
guys?
definitely for riders. When you mention, say, Grabs or Foodpanda, in fact, they actually run almost 250 kilometer a day.
A day?
They start from early and ends late at night. So they're looking at 250 kilometer. So if you want to have a bigger coverage for your market, you definitely need to improve yourself. That when you continue to improve that, this is R&D. It's a very, very high cost. So you need to know where to stop, right? And the products that you put in for R&D, whether you are able to have a good returns. So same like investors are looking for good returns, and for entrepreneurs, I want to see that more investment to improve the product. So you need to be able to come into agreements whereby you either what you want to achieve is to slow down, whatever that you have is to increase it. But this is on internal decision together with the shareholders updates. But when come to the market charging service center, you need trainings for mechanics, where you can see that when you use a combustion bike, you can go to any shops that they can repair. But when you come to electric, whether do they able to repair or not, even though it's so simple, you can't actually expect that the mechanics haven't touched before to repair the bike. So we still need to have a training center to train all these mechanics to be able to repair an electric bike. That is where you need spare parts, you need training, you need diagnostic system. So this is the line that I'm venturing, but definitely I can see that there's a very big potential.
Let's not sugarcoat this, Dennis. China is everywhere, and China bikes are flooding into everywhere, especially Malaysia. Now, Eclimo is made in Malaysia, buatan Malaysia. Has it been very challenging managing the supply chain? Because, Eclimo it does not go to any of the OEMs to build a bike. You have the IP, you've registered the IP, and most of it is done in Malaysia. But I understand, even EV bike has less parts. Managing the supply chain can be challenging itself. So what are your experience in this, and has it been a headache that keeps you awake at night?
Well, it's definitely a very interesting that how China produced the electric vehicle. If you look at the four wheelers, China have dominant the market for electric four wheels, and definitely China's are very, very focused into R&D for the four wheels. I would say that it's a good opportunity for me, whereby at this moment China have not focused on the two wheels. Why? Because as I mentioned just now, that China policy for two wheels is 45 kilometer and below. So if you ask a Chinese factory to develop or build a product that's suitable for the ASEAN countries or Malaysia, you need to have volumes. So whatever that they face is also facing the same problems for Eclimo. When Eclimo wanted to produce, for instance, we own the mold, we don't have a manufacturing plant, we don't have a plastic injection. Just a basic plastic injection that we have to open our own mold, and we actually outsource to a plastic injection factory. But you don't have volumes. How are they going to give you a better pricing? And this is where we have to really emphasize on where is our market. For instance, that's how when I mentioned we lease our vehicles for last mile delivery, how we can able to increase the volume, not right now, not be able to go to the consumer. We are actually adding more features onto the vehicle. Adding more features meaning that we are actually increasing the power for especially controller and motor. And the motor that we design does not use gearing system. In fact, there is a very low downtime for people to use our bike, whereby if let's say happen to have a puncture, we can actually do it less than 2 minutes, replace the tire less than 2 minutes. And if the last mile deliveries are using a long distance, even though we are using 3-pin plug to charge, we have improved that we have optional charging whereby you can use the external charger. Within an hour, you can actually charge to get another 150 kilometer range. So these are the optionals or the development improvement that we have to put in so that we can actually see that the increase of volumes, because manufacturers are looking for high volume to reduce the price. So how do we do that? We have to keep on improve our products. But one of the very interesting that we managed to work with companies which providing food, we can actually put inverter where we can have a coffee machine on the bike. You can actually brew coffee. You can actually put a heater onto the bike. You can actually sell curry
Roti
puff,
bakar.
roti bakar. Yeah. So this is an add-on service for a third party companies where they can actually make use of the bike to actually running their business, increase their revenue, and this is also beneficial to us. And this is where, because we have our in-house development team, especially I develop it myself, where we can actually improve that. And we can see that with that, we actually open up a bigger market. Of course, we want to go to the consumer market because it's a huge market. Like Malaysia alone is 13 million bikes running on the road. But if the whole ASEAN country is almost 15 million units a year. And if you talk about just now why we go into the India, because I'm also running actually chairing Electric Vehicle Association Malaysia. Currently, I'm the president. I'm also opening up to have networking with the leaders of the ASEAN and also the India. India alone for two-wheelers is almost coming to 20 million bikes, new bikes a year. So this is a very big market.
Is it because of the policy? Is it because of the affordability? Or is it because combustion is like totally banned? Someone was saying that Vietnam in the near future is going to ban combustion. So I guess your position as the chair or the president of EVAM, Malaysia, does play a significant role. I think, as a founder, being able to also immerse yourself in the policy making has advantages as well. But is the policy slow? Or I think Malaysia, we love to have policies, but the execution, I think, is really important, right?
Coming back to Malaysia, Malaysia petrols are subsidized.
Yes.
And Malaysia petrol are subsidized is even harder for electric vehicle to push out. But we have to look into If let's say we manage to convert a user to use electric, they no longer use the subsidized petrol. So I would say that we also will be able to support the governments to reduce the subsidy if we can able to manage to convert a person to convert to electric. Well, so this is definitely beneficial for both sides. And in fact, the government also do come in to support this industry. For instance, last year onwards, you can actually, if you want to purchase an electric vehicle, you can actually apply for a subsidy of 2,400 if your take home pay is less than 120,000 per year. So this is definitely a very good support from the government. But well, you still need to look into the whole total address market, and we need to see where is our position. Definitely, Chinese is a threat. We don't take it lightly. But for us to be able to ready, I also coming back to you, Ficus, whether can raise bigger funds for us to even expand it bigger and broader to ASEAN country and to India market.
Well, definitely, we, as an investor, will love to have bigger funds coming in because this is not a short term investment. I would say to some of my friends, whatever Ficus put in is really not enough. How can you even build even a e-commerce platform with a few $1 million? So definitely, I think a long term, I would say not just financial investors, but investors that can bring in their network and expertise in the, I would say, auto industry is something that I think, my personal opinion, that Eclimo should be looking at, because everybody's dollar is the same. But in this industry, as we talk about supply chain, to get access to batteries and to talk to the suppliers, I think you need more than relationship and more than the ability to be able give the PO. I have one burning question which people always ask me. Eclimo has been around for a decade or so. Of course, early years was just R&D, but it's been commercialized, and then there are already paying customers. It's not just paying customers, you have repeated paying customers. But with all these competitors coming in, what is that big plan that you have in your head, for, of course, investors like Ficus, or for future investors? Where do you see the company going in a short term, in a long term? Is it going to replace totally the combustion bike? Is it going to coexist?
You see that all over the world, especially the ASEAN, the government have declared that electric vehicle will continue to grow, and the focus for governments to support the growth for the electric vehicle are there. And we need to have more and more R&D company, not only for Eclimo to put in the R&D. We are talking about, if you put in a 1 kilowatt hour, how far you can able to ride. So one unit of power is like 1 kilowatt hour. Today we can do maybe 25 kilometer. Whether we can able to do 50 kilometer, when would that be? Because you are using 1 kilowatt hour to reach a further destination. This is definitely one of the area that not only Eclimo to put in the investment of development. You have to come in from all parties. We need more manufacturers. This is where manufacturers of the plastic injection, manufacturers of wire cables, manufacturers of the controllers. So these are the partners that we need to be able to come together, put in the R&D, and develop the market. The market is definitely is a very big market, and they are ready to change, because not only to reduce the cost of the user, climate change is also pushing the electric vehicle. So what we need is definitely more of companies to come in and pledge themselves that they want to develop it together and bring the product to the market. This is where I'm hoping that more and more industries are coming in to support, and we can actually build it locally here.
Now I understand why you hold the position of the president of EVAM, because I think, to be on the selfish side, I think you need to educate your other suppliers and partners. Because if Eclimo is the only one that progresses in terms of technology, the others are lagging behind. I don't think they can come together, right? So I guess I hope EVAM will do more. I'm seeing is getting a lot of traction now. If you have a spell, like you have a wish list, what would you do to change or to enhance the Malaysia's EV ecosystem? As the president of EV Association, and as someone who has been so passionate to develop the EV business in Malaysia, what would you do?
Before I go into that, it's already coming to the third year. We have e-mobility Asia. We are promoting the use of electric vehicle. We are promoting the industry to put in more efforts, more investment into development, research and development. So it's always happened during the November month at Kuala Lumpur Convention Center. So for this year, it's on 12th to 14th of November. So why not only focusing on developing Eclimo, but I'm also with the EV Association of Malaysia, with the support of all the committees and also the ASEAN leaders, we are putting this EV convention. And this EV convention not only in Malaysia, but we have it the whole year in Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, and sometimes you can see other countries as well. So this is to encourage every one of us here, those who are hearing this podcast, consider to convert to electric vehicle. I have drive electric vehicle for 4 years right now, especially on electric car. We don't have to go to petrol station. We don't have to go to maintain the car. We don't have to go to the workshop. I don't even send a single time to service my car. And sometimes you just by the call, by over the air update, you can actually repair the car. So it's definitely convenience to use the car. Of course, you're talking about the charging, whether is it infrastructure are supporting enough or not. Yes, we have a lot of chargers right now. As of today, we have easily 4,600 charger as of today, public charger. That does not include the private charger. So I will hope that there are more and more people willing to convert to electric car. And remember Eclimo. If you have an electric car, you also get an Eclimo for your own self. When you go out from the house, you don't make noise. Doesn't mean that you go out quietly. You don't disturb your neighbors. There's
your wife
no
don't
noise.
know that you're going out.
Oh, well, we don't want to disturb our neighbors, not only your wife that you're going out.
But I think, there are a few things that obviously I know more about Eclimo since we are the investors. I think one of the points that I really just want to bring out is that Eclimo, has its own IP. And we didn't manage to really talk about, you probably need a whole day to dive into the IP of Eclimo, which is unique because, there are 500 over batteries, if I'm still right, inside an electric two-wheelers, right? But we're also concerned, and we hear naysayers saying that battery itself, the production of battery itself, the lithium is a dirty business, right? But Eclimo has an IP where you are able to rescue the batteries. You're giving the batteries a second life. In a quick 1-2 sentence, maybe you could share with the audience what is the second life of a battery means.
I keep putting efforts to improve the battery technology, not the battery cell, but the whole battery pack.
How you assemble the battery.
How I assemble the battery, how I able to store the current and release the current. When you talk about release the current, there is a heat. How you're able to dissipate heat and to reduce the heat. The moment you can actually able to reduce the heat, you have more capacity to use. So we always talk about whether electric car, is it safe?
Oh yeah, it's always the bucker, right?
Yes. So if you look at it right now, a lot of improvement R&D have put into the battery. It's actually driving EV are safer than other vehicle, other power, I would say combustions. So today, rest assured, driving EV are very, very safe. Of course, the word of fire, people are still talking about it. I would say that you can check, you can actually continue to follow with these issues where electric vehicle currently are very safe, not having like before. Because before you can say that it's just started, right? And today we have improved a lot where you are very safe to use electric vehicle with the lithium power battery. So when coming to Eclimo, we definitely want to continue improving on the battery, whereby the battery, after you use for 10 years, the capacity is going to drop.
Do I throw away the battery?
You're not supposed to throw away battery. You're supposed to
fine.
recycle it.
Yeah.
Before you recycle it, repurpose it, reuse it, it's like a second life.
Okay.
So I actually, I started KFC in 2013. After 10 years, there's still capacity. It drops like 30%. I actually took out the battery and convert into a storage battery.
A big power bank?
And you can actually power your lights. You can power your fan. So this is a stationary battery. We call it repurpose it or second life to your battery. Before you remanufacture, you recycle the battery. So just like our mobile phones, when after years of using it, you will drop easily 20 to 30% after 2 or 3 years. So we don't throw away the battery. We can actually repurpose the battery. This is what our design are, our battery design, that we want to be able to repurpose it after 10 years when we want to replace the battery. Because for a vehicle, the user still want to continue to have a longer range. So when it drops 20%, maybe they want to change the battery. So when we change the battery, we don't throw it away. We will repurpose it. So one day, we're going to use it just to power our house, right? So there are many things that we can do actually from the battery.
But is Eclimo's battery the only battery that can be repurposed, or any? So I can take out the Tesla batteries to repurpose also?
I would say that when we design the battery, we have thought over it. It is definitely easier to repurpose the battery because our IP is non-spot welded. So it will be a very easy for us to repurpose it compared to other type of method of battery that they assemble. You're going to take a bit of time to repurpose it because
Maybe it's not
already
worth it
welded.
to repurpose it.
Yeah, you can say that.
It may be
Yeah.
expensive, right, to
Right.
recycle.
So this is where all the engineers, when you design, battery can be repurposed. So the whole pack of design, first thing is it must be designed to have a very, very safe usage and to be able to repurpose it. Because 10 years, I can say that it's also very fast. Today, we have about 75,000 electric car. Maybe 10 years later, you're going to have a 75,000 electric vehicle battery. So how are you going to repurpose it? Where are you going to use it? So this is one of the area that recycling activity must also put in place, especially starting from the policy.
Hi, my name is Jerry Goh. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Currypuff Abius. So this is a very interesting story whereby we were looking for a partner to collaborate with us for this project, and we came across to Eclimo, and we got to meet Dato' Dennis Tra, and we were very impressed with Dato' Dennis Tra as he's very open and willingness to embrace us. So we were definitely a very spot-on decision to work together, and not only to combine two of this partnership of Malaysian company, but actually to combine two Malaysian innovators together to create the best F&B street food mobile concept, and going to be the first in Malaysia. Yeah. It actually started quite organically. We were exploring how to take our Karipap Abuse Goes mobile concept to the next level. Something sustainable, efficient, and proudly Malaysian. Around that time, we came across Eclimo and met with Dato' Dennis Chua, the founder. From the very first discussion, Dato' Dennis showed genuine belief in our vision and offered full support to make it happen. His openness and the way Eclimo embraces collaboration really impresses so much. So this partnership began not just as a business arrangement, but as two Malaysian innovators coming together to create something meaningful for the local F&B scene. For us, it's about innovation with purpose. We wanted a mobility partner who understands not only technology, but also the challenges of SMEs and F&B operators. Eclimo stood out because it's a homegrown EV brand, fully designed and engineered in Malaysia, and because Dato' Dennis and his team were so hands-on customizing the solutions to fit our needs. So instead of a standard delivery bike, we co-developed a mobile F&B platform, an EV bike that can actually power and operate a mini food business. That is game-changing, for sure. Eclimo stood out because it's a homegrown EV brand, fully designed and engineered in Malaysia, and because Dato' Dennis and his team were so hands-on in customizing the solution to fit our needs. Instead of a standard delivery bike, we co-developing a mobile F&B platform, an EV bike that can actually power and operate a mini food business. This is game-changing. The concept is simple but powerful. Imagine an electric-powered food bike that can bring your favorite snacks like our curry puffs right to your community or workplace. It's not just about selling food, it's about enabling micro-entrepreneurship and giving more Malaysians the opportunity to start small, low-cost food businesses using clean energy. Right now, we're building the first prototype together with Eclimo engineering team. Dato' Dennis has been incredibly supportive, even personally involved in the technical discussions to make sure the design, battery systems, the power integration all fit perfectly for F&B use. Yeah. The F&B industry is facing rising rental costs, labor shortages, and delivery challenges. Many small operators can't afford a physical shop or high delivery commissions. Through this project, we're addressing that by creating mobility-based business models where one bike can serve multiple functions: selling, marketing, and delivery. Now, with Eclimo's EV technology, we can operate sustainably, reduce fuel costs, give licensees a smarter way to reach customers. It's truly a Malaysian solution for Malaysian challenges. Definitely their commitment and sincerity. Dato' Dennis and his team treat this project as if it were their own. They're not just supplying us a bike, they're working side by side to co-engineer something new. Eclimo responsiveness, local expertise, and willingness to adapt make them very, very different from typical suppliers. For us, that level of collaboration and trust is rare. We're truly grateful for the support for Dato' Dennis has personally given to make sure this project succeeds. We're currently in the final design and integration stage, working closely with Eclimo's engineers to ensure the setup fits our actual cooking and vending requirements. Once that's done, we'll move into pilot testing, bringing the bike to real-world environments to gather data and feedback. Our target is to roll out the first official pilot by early next year, and that will be the foundation for a larger fleet in the future. If the pilot performs the way we expect, this could scale nationally and even regionally. We envision hundreds of food entrepreneurs across Malaysia using Eclimo-powered bikes to run micro F&B businesses. And for Eclimo, I truly believe this project can showcase Malaysian innovation to the world. I want to take this opportunity to thank Dato' Dennis Chua for believing in us and for being such a strong force behind local innovation. Now, this partnership proves that when Malaysians collaborate, manufacturers, tech founders, and food entrepreneurs, we can create something the world will take notice. For sure.
Dennis, I think we're coming to the end of the interview. I call it chat, right? So I think one of the things being an entrepreneur, most people think is glamorous. I thought so many years ago until I sometimes want to give up. What about yourself? Are there moments where you felt everything is crumbling down and you really want to give up? And well, you're still here, so you have not given up. But, maybe to the younger entrepreneurs, I'm not saying that you're old, but I think you're more matured. You're not the 20 years old, drop out of high school, that kind of entrepreneur. But to the younger ones who wants to pursue entrepreneurship, what would you tell them? And how do you actually overcome that feeling of, I really want to give up? Because it's easier to say just tutup lah, just do something else.
Wow.
This is the hardest question. I save it for the last.
Before I come already, I wanted to tell you that I'm giving up.
Oh my God.
Well,
but
this
you're
is
here.
This is always when you are facing with difficulties. Yeah. You see, when your customers not happy with you, you say, "How come the range is so short that you already make it into already the best?" They say, "Why I can't go even higher speed?" So this is definitely every day you will hear all these where you always think that you want to change your direction. But this is where what are the you think I also thinking that you think by changing that into other trades it will give it you better, whereby this is something where I have passions to develop, especially on the lithium battery. We have to keep when there is I would say that somebody throw you with a negativity. This is where you improve yourself, you encourage yourself. Most importantly, you motivate yourself.
It's hard to motivate myself,
Well, you just look at the assets that you have out there and what have you achieved. I tell you one very, very simple thing. You look at the number plate. I can achieve that to get a Road Transport Authority, we call JPJ, to register the bike. Just the number plate. How many people can actually able to put up your own products and get the authority to be able to legally register your bike? This is something where it's a very proud achievement. Yeah. So there are also many other things, especially on lithium batteries. You see, I started from lithium batteries, and the vehicle come next, and I will also want to touch this. Yeah. You see, when I started this, the time, as for me and the rest, when you go to a petrol station, when I use a combustion bike, I still remember. I only have 1 ringgit, I pump 1 ringgit petrol. And the rest of motorbike user are also pump petrol with 1 ringgit. And the full tank is 3 to 4 ringgit. Why do you want to pump 1 ringgit? This is what I have. This is what they have. A car that coming in, you can pump full tank, right? So I see that, well, if I can able to develop a bike where they don't have to use all this daily pocket money, just use it. If any problem, you just go to the shop and change it. And a vehicle is just a transport, point A to point B. If you can able to achieve that, there's so many people benefits to it. Why you still need to go and buy a vehicle to have a financing, to go for a loan? Why can't you just design just like our mobile phones? Even electric bikes is just like a mobile phones. You just take it, use it for 8 to 10 years, you change it. So this is where I would still want to continue to be able to develop until it's an everybody bike, where you don't have to do maintenance. You just use the bike. If you don't like it, you return the bike, or after 8 years, you change to a newer bike. So there is no additional expenses to use the bike. And the bike must be a bike that doesn't disappoint you, to be able to go from point A to point B to complete your task. So this is what I want to achieve, and this is what wakes me up to continue to develop the bike.
Yeah, I remember, during the due diligence when we asked you why. Of course, one of the things that I personally feel is the right founder to back is because you are very focused on one thing. You told me you don't know anything else but just the bike. Of course, there are many entrepreneurs who said that I'm a serial entrepreneur. It's easy to start, to tutup kedai and start a new thing. And the industry actually appreciates that. But I guess, Ficus, we have a different philosophy. We want to back Malaysian founders, especially those who, I would say the dark horses, the not so obvious ones. But I think the journey has been very challenging for the founders, and of course for the investors. It's definitely more difficult to back something that's not so obvious. Something that maybe people need more time to understand. It's not an e-commerce, which everybody can understand. This one needs a lot of more patient capital, I would say. Anyway, thank you, Dr. Dennis, founder of Eclimo and president of EVAM. I don't think he has had Jack led, but he just came back from India. And thank you for the refreshingly honest about how you stay in the race. I really hope Eclimo will be our Malaysian, a proud Malaysian brand one day. We need to convince Malaysians to support Malaysian brands. And
very happy that I can share. And also not to forget that you have been very, very supportive, especially for Ficus to put investment into our what I've developed in Eclimo. So thank you very much, and also for this opportunity for me to be able to share what it's all about Eclimo. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a two-way thing. The investors also need, the founders to want to choose us, because our money is the same as investor A or investor B. But I think founders choose us because maybe we're a little bit different. We tend to spend more time, understanding the difficulties of being an entrepreneur. So I think, like Dennis said, I guess competing with the big guys, China or the other parts, it's not really about speed to market. It's maybe staying cool and lay the foundation. While many people say the China buys are coming, if you look around, there's not that many as well. Like you said, their focus is really the China policy, flooded with China bikes in China, but they have a special lane, which we don't have, right? So before we wrapped up, how can listeners connect to Eclimo and learn more about your work? Are you on LinkedIn? You mentioned there is an event coming up, but those who are interested to join the association, you even if you are small manufacturers that is part of the ecosystem, you can look out.
Yeah, please connect with me, Dennis Chua, DENNIS. CHUAH, and yeah, I'm from Penang. I'm born in Penang.
Okay, I'm also from Penang also. So
thank you.
Anyway, I'm proud of you, Penang Lang, as we always say. And lastly, we have this fun thing because I think the conversation was very serious. And we want to wrap it up with something more fun. So I'm going to ask you
I'm ready.
A rapid fire round. This simple questions. I'm not asking about weight, sizes, or height or anything. So are you ready?
Oh, yes.
No long answer,
Sure.
just yes or no, and choose one, right?
Right.
Okay. City rides or long distance?
Well, city rides.
Charge at home or charging station?
Charge at home.
The future is lithium or hydrogen?
Oh, lithium.
Of course. One myth about EV that needs to go away.
What?
Myth, as in
I see.
fake perception about EV.
You think there's nowhere to charge? Actually, we have electricity is everywhere. Petrol station you still need to find. Electricity is everywhere. So don't have to worry that where to charge your vehicle. Just go for it.
So the distance anxiety myth needs to go away.
Yeah, there's no issue.
Okay. Would you choose range or speed?
Well, right now it's still speed. Well, electric is about speed, so you go for it and you will feel the speed, you will feel the rides.
It has that vroom vroom thing, right?
Oh yeah, it's totally different than the vroom vroom. The rides are so different, yeah?
Last one. One word to describe Eclimo?
Well, Eclimo is for everyone.
And for you and your last message to the audience, EV bikes, is it for delivery, personal use?
Definitely right now, EV bike is for everyone, yes. And EV bikes actually able to make, I would say that you can able to make use of it with making money out of it, yeah, by using the EV bike. this has proven that you can actually use the EV bike and actually making money out of it, not just by burning the fuel. So
it's more than just a point A to point B product, right?
Yeah.
So it actually allows you to save and to make money at the same time. All right, love it. So this is how we end, and you've been listening to Unfinished Business, powered by Rice Bowl, where founders talk about the messy middle, the hard pivot, and the unfinished dreams that keep them building. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and keep your ideas fully charged.